Make sure I get this muted so I don't hear it in the background.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hey, horror fans. Once again, it is me, the Horror Misermani G, and once again to the Horror Hangout crew. And of course, with live streams, we always have little problems with trying to play the right video.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, that's when the problems are like, wait a minute, where's no, there it goes. All right, guys, so here we are right here. First of all, we got our good friend and leader, Sean Patrick Urshan from the Horror Corner. We have all the way from Ireland. We have Marty from the Trash Picture Show. And, of course, Jen, minus Christian from Jen's Reviews from the Grave. And our very special guest star all the way from the great neighbors up north, we have Little Miss Freak Show.
Welcome.
Yay!
And let's see who is in the chat right now. We have Samuel's Lot and more. Thank you very much. Freddy's Nightmare. And of course, we have
that is Sheldon.
Sheldon, all right. All right, Sheldon.
Hey. He's next to me. Hello.
Hey, Jason.
What's up?
Hey, Jason.
And of course, Suburban Cowboy. So thanks very much for joining us here. And of course, February is a very special month because not only is it Valentine's Day, but we also celebrate women in horror because without women, we wouldn't really have any good horror films now, would we? Is that right, Jen?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, so basically what we're going to do is going to celebrate women in horror films. We're going to talk about bad mothers in horror, kick-ass horror women, of course, final girls. So we're going to start it off with our Little Miss Freak Show. She's going to start it off as far as what do you think about women in horror? What have you enjoyed watching women in horror since you've been watching horror films?
I'm a big fan of slashers, so like the final girl is it for me. Like, if you don't have a final girl, it doesn't even feel like horror to me. It's like that's my favorite part, is trying to figure out who it's going to be. And usually I'm spot on the money, but I love badass women. I love it. No.
What about you, Jen?
Oh God! Oh, how much time do you have? What women in horror means to me? What women in horror means to me is like I love it whether, especially if a guy does it. Like women, it's one thing, but when a guy does it and goes, "How can you like something?" They're so misogynistic and they're so anti-woman, and I'm like, "Wait a second, asshole! Actually, it's always the women that are saving. It's almost always a fine girl. It's almost always a woman doing the saving. I think horror is the one that really empowers women the most." Oh, sure, we can be in skimpy outfits, and there's nothing wrong with that. We represent all kinds of horror represents all kinds of women, and it doesn't matter what type of woman you are. Horror loves you no matter what you are, and I think it's very empowering. It shows how women are smart, how we're cooler under pressure, and it's usually I love that we're usually the ones. If a guy lives, it's usually thanks to us.
Yep.
You're welcome.
So
well, we can't top that one. All right, Marty. I don't think you can top that.
As Little Miss Freak Show and Jen pointed out, there's some fantastic horror heroines, but I think one thing that's overlooked is there's some fantastic female villainesses in horror. Be it Mary Monson, be it Annie Wilkes, there were some absolutely kick-ass horror villains who are women. Sean, being a big fan of Hammer Horror, he knows that there's like absolute back catalogue of kind of dangerous damsels and women who you wouldn't want to cross. And I think horror is, as well as giving us a fantastic catalogue of kind of heroines, we've got some fantastic villains. Like the saying goes, the female of the species is more deadlier than the male, and I think horror proves that true and true.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Sean?
Oh yeah, I mean, like you said, without women, there wouldn't be horror, you know. And there's so many layers to the different roles that women play in horror, like like the bad moms and the final girls, and then you got a heroine, a hero, like Ripley in the Alien series is the ultimate female heroine to me in the Alien franchise. Someone you can really look up to and respect, and not just a hot girl or whatever, And someone like Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween is one of my favorites because she was just this nice girl next door that was stalked by this madman, and she fought back against him. She wasn't gonna just be fodder for the madman. Yeah, there's just so many different kinds, and you got like a badass zombie killer like Alice in the Resident Evil movies. I know it's not the greatest franchise in the world, but I always like her. I always enjoy her character and her performance. She's like, yeah, she's a badass. Get him, like.
Very cool.
Yeah, because I think women have come a long way, all the way from Fay Ray from King Kong, all the way to Naru from Prey. And you see how the roles of women have changed throughout all of the different legacies of horror films, whether they were the damsel of distress, or they were the partner of the hero, or they might actually wind up being the bad guy in the horror film, or until eventually they were the victim but turn revenge in the films, and then we wind up with the final girls, and then we wind up with the badass horror ladies in horror. So I think we've come a long way as far as what women have done, not only in front of the camera but behind the camera as well, whether they are writers, producers, or executive producers. I mean, women have come a long way, since the good old days of horror films.
Mm-hmm. And also, horror gives us layers. That's one thing they really explore. Like, we have some good girls that are just there to save the day. We have some, as Marty pointed out, some baddies. And then we have these really interesting characters that are layered that you can look at as both victim and villain. And I think that there's no other genre that can explore, the duality of the human condition so well as horror, especially with women.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, this the first film ever directed by a woman was a horror film, Suspense, in 1910.
I did not know that.
Wow.
It's my favorite slasher.
I didn't even think there were movies in 1910.
Oh no, they were making movies back then. Yeah, probably more of the silent type, because I forgot when speaking became popular, but probably in the silent films, it wouldn't surprise me there was a woman that directed one.
Christian knows this. I can't remember the name, but there was one. In fact, I want to say, I wish Christian were here. He's probably screaming at the thing right now.
What did she say? Please, please, please.
She's doing it wrong. Fire her. Fire her.
Yeah, so one of the categories we're going to talk about, obviously, when it comes to women in horror film, is obviously bad mothers or evil mothers. I'm pretty sure we have plenty to go over with that one. Obviously, the more popular one was Pamela Voorhees. So, Jen, what do you think about Pamela Voorhees in Friday the 13th? And what does she represent when it comes to bad mothers?
I don't think she's a hot take. I don't think she's a bad mother. She shows what the lengths a mother will go to. She has tremendous guilt. She was probably a working mother. This is my own backstory for her head, but there's no father around to speak of, and she was a working mother trying to take care of a child that was different, and that's a hard role to fill. And she knew he was being bullied, and so she has a lot of guilt, and she can't fix it. She can't bring him back, or so she thinks, but she can punish, and that's a way of showing her love for her son. I think in a weird way that you guys are probably all going to think I'm nuts, but you probably already do anyway, that shows she's not a bad mother, how far a mother's love will go. And maybe she didn't handle it in the best way, murdering people, but it shows love. It does show love, and she was trying to fix it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't put her in the bad mother category. She might not be the best camp counselor to have, but not for a cook. She was a cook, but but I wouldn't put her in the bad mother category. Not for me. Margaret White's a different story, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll definitely.
And
get
even there, you could layers. There's layers with her too.
All right, Lemons Freak Show. What do you think about Pamela Voorhees and whether or not she actually is a bad mother?
She's a good mother with bad execution. We'll put it that way, huh? Very bad execution. Literally execution, I guess.
Literally.
Yeah. No, I agree with Jen. She's definitely, there's more to it than just a slasher villain for her. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different layers there. She definitely is a good mom with a bad way of going at things.
All right, what about you, Sean?
Oh, I love her. I mean, she's my favorite of the franchise, honestly. Friday 13th, the original, is my favorite Friday 13th movie because of her. She's someone you can sympathize with and understand why she's doing what she's doing, and she's kind of trying to get justice for what happened to her little child. The camp counselors weren't paying any attention, so someone should pay for that, right? So they do in a whole different kind of way, but
one of the things, I don't mean to cut you off, Sean, but one of the things that's interesting to me about that is because it's kind of talked about now, but especially back then, he was a different kind of kid. And, in school and stuff, those kids usually, they don't get, usually the teachers kind of ignore, it's a different child. And people don't hear it when it's as a quote unquote normal child. And Friday the 13th was kind of the first to show that, people might have not listened because he was different. So people didn't listen. And I thought that kind of shined a light. It was actually a little deeper than just these horny teenagers. But if you're different, they get treated differently. If you're, no matter how you're different, you get treated it's probably better now, but when I went to school, if you were different, teachers and things didn't listen the way they would in quote the normal kids. And that might be a hot take, but I think it's true. I know I had some problems with that when I was going to school, and I knew some other people that did too. So it does shine a light on it again. And so a mother's frustration, she's like, nobody's going to listen to me. So God damn it, I'm going to fix this problem and people are going to die.
But let's not forget that she has some serious issues. I mean, she's a split personality.
There might be some hereditary stuff going on.
Jason's voice and her own voice talking.
Kill him, mommy. Kill him. No place to run. No place.
They deserved it. They had it come. Maybe if someone would have done something, she wouldn't have to go to such an extreme.
I won't, Jason. I won't.
What about you, Marty?
Good or bad, I gotta give her props going fucking Chuck Norris missing in action around that fucking campsite. I mean, she was stealthily killing fucking. I mean, okay, what? The 4'5" woman in her 40s, 50s, fucking taking out dudes with axes and bows and arrows. And Jesus Christ!
Don't forget the arrows,
right?
Being a mom, I can totally see where Jen's coming from. That the anguish and loss of a mother manifests itself now. Obviously, maybe the first initial killing, well, and I'm fucking going to be crucified here. Maybe that was grand. If she stopped it those two that were fucking kind of getting jiggy in the fucking boathouse in the prelogue. But I don't get why she had to kill everyone else. I don't know. But at the same time, I can understand there's mental illness there. There's anguish, and I'm not going to say she's an out and out villain, but she's certainly not a bad mother per se. She loves her son. If she was abusing Jason, if she was tormenting Jason, that would make her a bad mother. I think she's a psychotic mother, but not towards her offspring. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I think when it comes to Pamela Voorhees, I think she truly loved Jason and really wanted to protect him. And it's going to be interesting to see what the Camp Crystal Lake show is going to portray her as. I know somebody in the chat said that Dee Wallace would make a great, what will be cast great as Pamela Voorhees. I think that's a great casting as well.
But she's never been a villain, so that'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It will be, but she has played a protective mother in a horror movie before. In fact, I wanted to bring her up from Cujo. She is a protective mother in Cujo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's my whole take on. Obviously, what she did was wrong, but that's just doing what a mother does because it could be the guilt that she felt because she didn't protect Jason in the way. And like I said before, it's really going to be pretty interesting to see how this is going to play out in the Camp Crystal Lake series.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think when Jason died, she just snapped, or do you think there was she always had like mental issues? Or
I think there were issues to begin with.
I don't know if it's considered canon, but there is a really good comic that came out from IDW all about Pamela and how she was the victim of physical abuse by Elias, and that kind of deteriorated her mind. And if that's to go by, that's kind of a cool way to look at it. That she kind of she snapped because of the abuse at the hands of her husband. That would be an interesting thing. They'd even hints that because Elias was abusive to her, that's why Jason was the way he was. He ended up pushing her down the stairs, and as a result, Jason had become deformed in the womb. It's just an interesting thing to kind of look at.
Well, that's interesting. I'd like to
That's
see
interesting.
something
I didn't know IDW
later.
made a comic book about.
Yeah.
Because I know I've seen them do lots of other things, but I didn't know they did a one for Friday the 13th. Did they have the rights to do that, or did they ask permission from? Cause I think was it come out when Sean Cunningham still had the rights?
Oh, it came out ages ago. Originally, Avatar Press owned it, and then it got handed over to IDW. There's two cool prequel stories. There's that one about Pamela, and there's one about a massacre of Native Americans at Camp Crystal Lake, and that's why the lake is cursed. That's why any bodies that are dropped into the lake come back. It's pretty cool.
Jason, it'd be cool if she never had a son named Jason was on her head.
An interesting take.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, Jason.
Yeah.
Good one. The next mother we're going to talk about is wait a minute, I just saw that. No, I lost it. Yeah, well, why not? Norma Bates.
Oh, yeah.
Norma.
You can't talk about a mother than Norma Bates. Now, obviously, we don't. When it comes to Norma Bates, we know what happened to Norman, and he actually thought she was her. But what are your takes on Norma Bates? Whether you actually seen the, because I don't know if you guys seen the Bates Motel series.
No, I've never seen that.
Oh, you really got to see that because Vera Farmiga and Freddie Hightower, they really killed that. The whole season is excellent. Yes, yeah, but
she's not.
What is your take on Norma Bates?
That's the kind of mom that scares me. Like I don't even know, the emotional, the probably physical incest of it all. Just no, thank you. I'm not such a fan of incest as Jen.
Uh-oh.
That's why they have me on here.
Right? I love that that's a thing. Yeah, no, she terrifies me. Like her and Carrie White's mom, I do believe I put in together as the most terrifying moms. Like they scared the shit out of me.
I don't even know which one is worse, her or Margaret. Both of them are
I
scary.
don't know. Margaret has the religious aspect, and that kind of really scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who scares you more, Jen? Margaret or Norma?
Probably Margaret, because religious people, and no hate to anyone who has faith and stuff, but those kind of people, the Margaret Whites of the world, truly scare the living fuck out of me. But I think they're great examples. Both Margaret White and Norma Bates are great examples of layered and complex characters. They're a harder thing, where Pamela's a little easier to put on the good mother side. These are way more complex, and we're talking about Norma. And the interesting thing about that is, with every movie you get, and the books too, the books are a little more straightforward, but the movies, that you get different backstories, but depending, so whichever movie you're watching, you get kind of a different backstory. But in part 3, which is one of my favorites, there's this whole backstory of that she was in love, like there was a sister that was in love with Norman's father and stole Norman as a baby, and it sets up the thing with there's definitely some mental illness in this family. There's definitely some things going wrong. Norma's scary, but you get it from Norman's perspective. You never really know her story because we only get it from Norman's perspective, which I love. I love an unreliable narration. But and there's these heartbreaking, in part 4, there's these heartbreaking scenes where you see where she could have been a good mother, where she does some tender things, but then just as quick of a snap of a finger, she has Norman dressed as a girl, calling her Norma, locked in a closet and stuff, and then literally symbolically incesting him. There are some scenes that it's symbolic incest. I mean, she's tickling him, and then she's like, "You dirty," just throwing him away. I mean, of course your kid's gonna be fucked up. I mean, but it's very genius, and you could chew so much fat with this. And I'm sorry, I'm going on, and I'm sorry, guys, for this, but it's just, I find it such an interesting character. She is neither black nor white, and we really don't know her story anyway, because Norman's not the most reliable narrator. But I love it. There's so many ways you can take her. I think she was an incredibly damaged person. I don't know if I could say she loved her son the same way I can with Pamela. She might have, but it was a very complex thing. She kind of, the way Norman describes her, she was man hungry. She just wanted a dick. I'm going to say it might be controversial, but she just wanted a dick.
That's your answer to everything. Jesus Christ.
But no, Marty, you can see where I'm coming from this, right? Like, you guys are probably over. I'm sorry. I don't mean to take up everyone's time. I apologize.
It's okay, Jen. That's why we love you.
One of my favorite characters, though, well, Norman Bates is. Norma's interesting. But I think she does love Norman, but it's a very twisted, fucked up kind of love. For the very short answer, which I never give.
It's in the Bates Motel series, where you get to see more dynamic between Norma and Norman in their relationship, and it's a very weird relationship. Even though a lot of incest is implied in there, in their relationship. We never actually see it, even though at times we do see them sleep together. We actually see Norman. He has some type of an attractiveness to his mother, even to women that look like his mother. Because I know in the first episode of the Bates Motel, there's this teacher that he actually goes to the house to, and he's staring at her while she gets undressed. And you can just see that he wants to do something to her. Even though that, I thought it was pretty interesting, and I thought they really played that relationship well, because they really had a very weird dynamic in that relationship in Bates Motel.
Brought up some good points.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Marnie?
I'm gonna go with Margaret White. Norman Bates, I think the issue was more towards Norman than his mother. I'm not doubting that Norman's mother contributed to his kind of his psychotic deterioration. But I definitely think that the more negative source out of the two is definitely uh, Carrie's mother, because as Jen says, there's
Yeah.
nothing scarier than a fucking religious crazy. I've had the unfortunate thing of encountering friends of mine whose parents are very, very religiously devout, and have absolutely brainwashed and fucked up their kids as a result. And yeah, there's nothing more negative to a child's upbringing than someone who's a religious zealot. And yeah, Carrie's mother ticks all those boxes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, both very, very interesting characters. As far as Norma Bates goes, I mean, she's the whole reason for Norman's madness, and the thing I find so interesting about that is it's something that happens in real life when you have an unhealthy relationship, where a boy has a young unhealthy relationship with his mother, and this is just to the extreme, because I've known people that have, and you could see how it could go down a dark path. And
Why the hell are you looking at me,
every
Sean?
time
Why the hell are you looking at me when you're saying that?
Like,
I feel all your judgment.
Sean makes a very good point though.
Yeah,
At the end of the day,
Yes.
one of the
but
inspirations
he's
is
looking for his
Ed Gein.
mother, like Monty said, and every woman he
Oh, Sean's frozen.
Uh-oh.
We lost you there for a
Sorry.
moment, Sean.
But yeah, he's looking for his mother. Every time he fixates on a woman, he sees his mother. It's obviously this very unhealthy relationship there, and maybe there was some kind of I don't know, abuse, or I don't know. Obviously, there's abuse. I mean, she was brutal towards him. Very, very extremely overprotective. And kept
Emotionally
him a little
abusive.
boy, even when he was a man. Even when he's a grown man, he's like a little boy in a way.
Yeah, I know.
And
Yeah.
as far as Margaret White goes, yeah, there's nothing scarier than a holy roller. Someone that's just completely obsessed and has their book of rules and everything you have to follow. And if you don't follow this, you're going to hell. And she's like the perfect example of that.
Yeah.
You should go to hell. You're an
who you think
abomination.
Who you did a better job in portraying Margaret White? Was Piper Laurie or Juliette Lewis? I mean,
I'm a
Julianne.
Piper Laurie fan.
Oh, Piper Laurie by a mile.
Piper Laurie. Yeah.
The screaming shrillness of her is enough to drive you insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Marty? Screaming shrillness.
Sorry, my fucking eardrums are kind of sore at the moment. What What? Yeah. I'd say you'd have to speak up, but I don't have to tell you that. So.
I actually think both actresses did a pretty good job in portraying Margaret in their own way. I think Piper Laurie did it more up. She seemed more obsessed, more into protecting Carrie, and Julianne did it in a more zealous way. So they each had their own ways of portraying Margaret. So I thought both actors did a fantastic job in portraying Margaret White. I mean, that's one of the
I
reasons.
think, Jen, did Julianne Moore play Margaret White on the stage production of Carrie as well?
That's what I had heard. There was a very short-lived, very short-lived thing, and she played it on stage, I believe. Yeah, there was a very short-lived thing. It didn't last for very long, but they did make a play. I don't know if it was a musical, but it was a play for sure.
It was a musical.
Yeah, it was a musical. Okay, I kind of remembered that, but my brain is not very reliable. But yeah,
No,
I want to see that.
I was doing something, and I was looking up Carrie because I was doing something, and I happened to find out that Because I didn't even know there was a musical for Carrie. Because I knew that I just thought there were three adaptations of Stephen King's novel. You know, the Brian De Palma one, the TV one, and then the one that stars Chloe's Grace Moretz.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie the musical.
I know, yeah.
I'm with you. I'd love to go see it. I'd love to go see it.
I'll
Hi,
never forget
Kirsten.
Oh yeah, because I actually saw Carrie when it first came out in the theaters, and I'm pretty sure, just like Kristen probably noticed when she saw it in the theaters too. Seeing everyone scream out loud when that hand came out from the grave.
That's awesome.
I know, yeah, yeah. The next bad mother we're going to talk about is actually the original and the remake, which is Mother's Day 1980. We have Beatrice Pons and, of course, Rebecca Domaine played that character. What are your thoughts about that? Marty, did you see both films, Mother's Day?
I'm going to have to opt out because I have not seen either.
I see.
I have not seen those movies.
See. What about
Sorry
you, Jen?
about
Did
that,
you
Monty.
see both Mother's Days?
Yeah, I've seen both Mother's Days. The original is very much sleazy and exploitative, and I'm not saying that as a bad thing. That's a plus for me. The one with Rebecca De Mornay, it's more of kind of, even though it wasn't made at the time, it was kind of a throwback to like 90s. They tried to make it more of a thrillery kind of. They tried to make it a little more highbrow than it really was from the original. I like them both for different reasons. I've always been a Rebecca De Mornay fan, but that one was very much toned down, and the other one was way much more exploitative and on the top. I prefer the original because that's the kind of classy gal I am. But they both have their cons and pros to them. I like them both though.
Yeah, because the original Mother's Day was a typical ultra violent kind of like playing like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type of violence, and obviously the remake more of a thriller, kind of more like a screamish type of setting right there. And Rebecca did a pretty good job in playing, was much more controlling, not more controlling and manipulative in how she got those people to do some of the stuff they did. So did you see
And that can be, I don't mean to cut you off, but that can be scary because like if you have a mother that's a little bit more slyer than say a Margaret White that that has everybody at their control but tries to appear not, that can be, if you have a mother like that, that can be a nightmare because like no one might believe you because they come off as fairly normal, and so you look like you're the one with the problem. Those are dangerous mothers too. We always remember the over the eccentric and over the top ones, but the ones that are a little bit more slyer are usually the even more dangerous than the out and out crazy ones.
What about you, Miss Luna Freak Show? Did you see both Mother's Day films?
I haven't seen the 80s one. I have not. It's on my list though, but I heard it's real trashy.
It is.
It's a typical.
I'm probably gonna like it.
It's like one of the last typical trashy films that came out during the 80s before the slasher craze really took off.
Oh, cool. I have not seen that. I have seen the remake. I do really like the remake. I think like she's such an ice queen, man. Just stone cold bitch. I kind of like her, even though she's like the bad guy. She gives me like, I don't know, American Horror Story vibes. Like Jessica Lange could play this character very well.
Oh yeah, because I can imagine Jessica Lange playing that role right there, just by how she manipulates everybody in that scene, and that's why I find it fascinating about that film, how she manipulates the kids that she takes and manipulates the people and how she's invaded. I mean, that's pretty good. I think it's really why I enjoyed that version of Mother's Day.
It is. She's cold, man. I love it.
Let's see. Did I miss any other mothers?
You missed a big mother, Monty. I cannot believe you don't have her on your list.
Do you want to remind me?
Yes, People Under the Stairs, mommy.
That's what I was trying to find. That's what I was trying to find. Yes.
Admittedly,
my
I
God.
haven't seen that.
Oh, you need to like that. Put that at the top of your list. Oh my God! If you want to talk about a mother from hell, and then again, I know you're not a big fan of incest, but we find out brother and sister, not husband and wife, brother and sister. They run a funeral parlor. There's children in the walls and in the basement, and it's speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. And if the children do one of these things, then the offending orifices is cut out. It's fucking amazing, and it's also a really beautiful story about friendship. I talk about incest and all this other stuff, but it's also a very beautiful story about making a promise to a friend and keeping it. And the performance by Mommy, oh my God, there's a scene with boiling water. She gets blood all over her dress that she worked so hard to make, and she just dumps her in the scaling water. It is, and there's also, much like a couple other movies, there's a thing with her brother, daddy, like looking at the daughter, and then you find out some stuff at the end. I won't spoil it for you, but oh my God, it is such a brilliant movie.
I gotta see that.
You can see
I'm
Jeremy
a fan.
loves that picture. Yeah, I'm surprised you have not seen that because it's one of Wes Craven's underrated horror films.
Right?
It's one of his
Like,
best.
it just keeps slipping right. I love Wes Craven.
You got to see it. I'd love to hear a review from you because it's an amazing film.
We'll put that one on the list. Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What about you, Marty? I don't know if you could top that.
Terrible mothers. Yeah, no, I'm going to go with Jen. But I don't know if this counts, but the Alien Queen. That's a scary fucking mother right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, she's
What
a
about
good
you,
mother,
Sean?
but she's a scary fucking mother.
Yeah.
Any thoughts about
I got a couple. I'm gonna say you have Desiree Gould's character in Sleepaway Camp. She's a pretty bad mom. You know, raising her child as a girl and as a boy all along, and never telling her.
I thought it was the aunt.
It was the aunt.
The aunt.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yes. All right.
Yeah, it was the aunt. Yeah.
No biggie.
No mistake.
Samantha Egger and The Brood. Really messed up movie. Oh my God, she's just bonkers.
It's a David Cronenberg film. What you expect?
Yeah. But she's so messed up that I mean, it's a horror movie. What do you want? But she's so messed up that her evil thoughts and weird thoughts manifest these creatures, these little dwarf characters, and they become like these psycho killers. It's so weird. The end is like one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen. Like,
you ever
when she unveils like the baby, and she like the baby's covered in blood, and she like licks it. Like,
Yes.
you ever seen that one, Mental Miss Freak Show, The Brood?
I've seen most of it. I haven't seen quite to the end of it somehow, but I've seen most of it.
Oh yeah,
Great
you
movie.
got to see. You got it. The ending part is the
might
best
be
part.
scarred for life.
Yeah, you'll be probably going like, what in the hell? Definitely doing some TWF moments when you see that.
With Cronenberg, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, with Cronenberg, it's what you expect.
Yep, definitely.
Before we move on, Monty, don't hate me too much. There's one other mother I want to talk about, and it parallels in a very opposite way of Pamela Voorhees. And I promise I won't take but just a minute, but I got to talk about, let's see which mother you'd rather have. Okay, so she kills a few people. Maybe that's not the best way, but I would take Pamela Voorhees' mother over the mother in The Woman, Lucky McKee's The Woman. And I'm not talking about the cannibalistic feral woman that we're keeping in the barn. She's a good mother.
Awesome
I am
mom.
talking about the fucking bitch that knows that her husband is messing around with her daughters. And yeah, you could make the argument that she has psychological trauma along with her daughters because she's living in abuse. But no mother worth their salt. It's one thing you hurt us, but you fucking touch our kids, you're fucking dead. I don't give you any passes. She knew what she's doing, and sure, she sort of wakes up toward the end, but it's too little, too fucking late. And I'll take a mother that'll kill for me rather than one that's complacently standing by some son of a bitch hurting one of my kids. So that to me, that is the worst mother of them all, is the ones that just compliance for a man. And I'll take a mother that'll kill for me over one that'll just stand by and do fucking nothing.
Definitely.
I had to bring that up.
What was that one? Because you said it's not the one that starred the actress that was in The Walking Dead. I can't remember her
It's
name.
not Pamela McIntosh. She's the cannibal pharaoh mother in that, but she's the good one in this movie. She's the good one. It's the wife.
Yeah,
yeah.
The sequel, Darlin, is fantastic.
Oh, Darlin! I'm so glad there's at least someone else that's seen that movie. That's such a good movie. I'm a big Jack Ketchum fan. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because there was a movie was called The Offering first, and then came, I think it was called The Woman first. Yeah.
Yeah, The Offspring, and then The Woman, and then we got Darla. And oh man, there's the books by Jack Ketchum I would highly recommend too. But Lucky McKee did such a fantastic job with those movies, just amazing.
One last mother, can't leave her off, and that is obviously Toni Collette's Annie Graham from Hereditary.
Yep.
You saw Hereditary, right, Sean?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that mother?
Really good. I really enjoyed it.
Notification.
I thought it was so intense, like when she lashed out at her son and like, how dare you speak to him? Like she just like flips out, like, oh my god, like whoa.
She's trying to light him on fire.
But what a great actress! What a great performance! Unbelievable. And the end was a little like, harkens to other films of that genre, but
it's an Ari Aster film.
Expecting them to go there with it.
Yep, it is.
The way it ends, I'm not gonna give spoilers. But...
Yeah, I mean, it's an Ari Aster film, so his film's always going to end weird.
I don't think anybody can play unhinged like Toni Collette, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely was unhinged in that whole film. I think one of the craziest scenes is when she's banging her head, literally banging her head.
Yep.
Up in the whatchamacallit. I'm like, God damn.
Been there.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's weird to watch without knowing anything. Oh yeah, because I don't even think no one knew what was going to happen in that film.
I did. Sparky can back me up. I told him. I'm like, I know. I told him, and he's like, God damn it.
I got spoiled on it.
I think a lot of people went in thinking it was going to be a creepy kid movie because of the young actress.
I kind of thought so too, because that goddamn clucking stuff that she did. That's why I thought it was going to be about her. I didn't know it was going to be about anything else but her, because it's like, oh wow, another creepy kid movie.
In fairness, Monty, to Toni Collette's character though, my mom would be fairly cranky if I caused one of my siblings to be decapitated on a fucking lamppost. In fairness, just saying.
You shouldn't have made him take her in the first place. She had no business being there.
Yeah.
You got more than one kid. I mean, I guess this is why you have more than one child.
There.
It's good to have a spare, Jess.
Oh boy, God. Okay, got another person coming in to say hello. Okay, so now that we've done talking about bad mothers, let's talk about badass horror movie women in horror films. So, all right, Little Miss Freak Show, who do you have in mind? Do you think is a badass in horror movie, a badass woman in horror movies?
Jennifer Hills. Jennifer Hills, man. That's it for me.
The gold standard.
Is the most badass woman. Every single version of her too. I love the remake as well. I think she's badass in the remake, but just the way she is in the original, just angelic and just crazy, because she was made crazy. I love it. I love Jennifer Hills so much in I Spit on Your Grave. I love it.
Good choice.
We lost Sean.
We lost Sean.
He'll come back.
Which do you like, the original better or the remake?
I like the original better because I forget the actress's name. I'm blanking.
Keaton. What was the first name? But Keaton something, right?
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of like the sequel that came out, the Deja Vu one.
I like that one actually. I actually
Ooh.
like. I'm one of the few people that did like that.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I liked it. We did a review on it. Christian wasn't so hot on it, but I liked it.
no, I trashed Deja Vu. That was terrible.
I remember.
I like the brutality of the remake. The brutality of the remake is fantastic. Like, it's a bit graphic.
Oh yeah.
But I just love the way Jennifer Hills is in the first one. It's like a little deep here, but it's like the Madonna complex type thing. Madonna horror complex. You're either a goddess, like you're pure and innocent, or you're the devil if you're a woman, and she's both. And I love it.
I really have to give Sarah Butler credit for what she had to go through, and especially during the rape scene, and literally have to almost like walk at least a good 10 feet, butt naked, and probably in very terrible conditions, So I really gave her credit because the remake is definitely more brutal.
Way
not
brutal.
just that, but the revenge part. What it does to those guys. Oh boy. It just Marty, you ever see the remake of I Spit in Your Grave?
Yeah, it's like, wow, that guy has a shotgun up his toilet bowl. Fucking, yeah, okay. Right, you deserve this.
That's why I said, oh man, I just stuck a shotgun up his ass.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. Any other scenario, I'd feel sorry for you. But fuck it. He was a piece of shit, and he got a 12 gauge up his fucking pooter. So, like,
Oh. What about you, Sean? What you thought about I Spit on Your Grave?
Well, I haven't seen the remake yet, but I like the original movie. It's really nasty. It's really like raw, and it's really affecting. It's so brutal when she gets raped multiple times, but it's all the more sweet when she gets her revenge in gruesome, nasty ways. Yeah, so that's the part that I enjoy, when she gets her revenge and takes them all out. All these hillbilly scumbags. Castrates the guy in the
Yeah, I know.
the bathtub scene there.
That part's a little more graphic in the remake.
Yeah.
It's definitely
bit.
in the remake. Yeah. All right, Jen, who's your favorite badass woman in the horror film?
Oh God, there's a lot. I'll try to keep this brief. I'll just name a couple. I first have to mention, because couple golds, darling, Annie fucking Wilkes. I mean, oh my God, if you want to go for a badass baddie in the thing, she takes a rider, much like you're a rider, darling, and she keeps him up on the bed, and then she hobbles him so he'll never get away from her and can't go back to Ireland and leave her. I mean, did I say Ireland? I mean, Maine.
Okay, cool.
No, and just the chemistry that with James Caan and Kathy Bates, just so fucking amazing. I absolutely love it, and just the unhingedness, just the fucking cockadoodie craziness. Everything about that movie is so perfect. It's just I feel a kinship with her for some reason. Couple golds, darling, couple golds. Another badass woman that I have to mention, like I said, I'll try to be brief, is Esme from Audition. I mean, if you want to talk about a layered badass horror character, look no further, because she does monstrous things, but when you know her backstory, you're kind of like on her side, even though the guy didn't deserve any of it. He was basically a nice enough guy, but when you hear her backstory, you're like, oh, okay, we can kind of give you a pass considering all that's happened to you. If any lawyer, her case would be to get off. But I love, and the scene just, I mean, it just makes the hackles on the back of your head stand up. And she does it so. This is a feminine horror woman. I mean, she just does everything is so delicate. All of her things, the wire, the lace, the apron. You know, it's just so delicate and dainty and so feminine, you know, just the way she does everything and she cuts off the thing. And again, so he'll never leave her, huh? There seems to be a theme with mine.
You touch my
Okay, just keep him in a bag on the floor.
Yes. And also that movie just helps me diet because that scene what she does with the bowl with the what's in the and just every time.
No.
Very few things gross me out, but that scene.
Yeah.
And then the last one that I'll mention, because I'm probably boring all you guys, but the last one I'll mention, and you guys are going to go, really? But fucking Cade Hodge from Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3. Because little Jen, if there was ever a moment of fucking horror empowerment, at least for me personally, was the scene where the cleaner goes, you dumb bitch, you probably don't even know how to use that thing. She cocks that shotgun back and goes, pretty goddamn good, you backwoods motherfucker. God, I love that line. That was girl power for Jen. that was like I was too young to have a bra at the time, but I was like, I'm gonna burn my bra. You go, my sister. You show that men sisters can do it for ourselves. So yeah.
This is about every stream that we have here. I feel for you, Marty.
I think the fact we're in separate continents is a big reason that this relationship works. It's a safe distance.
All right, Marty. Who would you like? Who you think is a badass woman in horror?
Character and actress. Well, it's the same person. Catherine Isabel's Mary Monson. Fantastic character. She weavers from like a rape victim to someone who is a fantastic torturer to someone who you do empathize with her by the end of the movie. Catherine Isabel, fantastic actress. She has this thing that's she's like a throwback to the old Hammer horror femme fatales. Be it either this or Ginger Snaps or even in the Hannibal series. She's fantastic. And I think Mary Monson, her role as Mary Monson is the highlight for me.
I love her. She's an artist.
She's wicked and she's cool. And just torturing that fucking rapist for ages. And like he's got no arms, he's got no legs, he's got no tongue. And then she's like, well, I'm done with you. Into the next. I just thought that was badass. And I think she's a cool character.
Very cool.
All right. What about you, Sean?
Oh, speaking of Texas Chainsaw, I'm gonna say Caroline Williams and Texas
Stretch.
too.
Yeah.
Because not only is she like the final girl, like she actually goes after the killers and follows them. Like that takes balls.
I love her dancing
She
with
follows
the
them down to their
chainsaw.
lair,
Yeah.
and oh yeah. I was looking to get these bastards. They broke into my radio station. Another one I would say is obviously the ultimate for me is Sigourney Weaver as Ripley. I mean, she's the ultimate badass in horror and sci-fi, or both really. She's just someone who's so smart and intelligent, beautiful, and someone you can really look up to, and just amazing. What a performance!
Yeah, Carrie was badass, actually.
Like if they listened to her, none of it would ever happen. They didn't break quarantine.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. Yes, I hear you, Dallas, and the answer is no. Now, for my two, obviously, I'm pretty sure if you haven't seen it before, obviously, Celine from the Underworld series, Kate Beckinsale, very good. Not because she's a good-looking woman, but she's just a badass. I love her character. I love the Celine character. I love what the character is going throughout the Underworld series, and obviously we're going to pick a new one, Naru from Prey, because I thought that was a fantastic performance. Uh, really shows that you can actually have a final girl who is actually very smart. And what she did to the predator was use her brains and not just brawn. I thought they both shows examples about a very strong female character who's a badass.
True.
Very good one.
Okay, all right. Who is your favorite killer as a woman who actually was the killer in the film series, well, in the film? All right, we're going to start with you, Sean.
Ingrid Pitt as Countess Dracula, the character of based kind of loosely based on a real life killer Elizabeth Bathory.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she allegedly killed like 600 women back in the 1600s, you know. But I mean, a lot of it has kind of been debunked and kind of is a myth, but just the idea is very interesting. This crazy lady bathes in the blood of virgins. She thinks it makes her look younger and more beautiful. And of course, in the film, she actually does become young and beautiful, you know, because she's like kind of an old hag at the beginning, you know.
Good choice.
That would be my favorite.
What about you, Jen?
I hesitate because if I bring up this, you know which one, you are probably I know you know which film I'm going to talk about, but I feel that when we find out about the character, it's a big spoiler, so I'm very hesitant, but I also feel like not enough people besides you and me saw this, Monty, so I'm just going to go and say, Boy Behind the Door. My jaw was on the floor when we get that reveal, and it takes a lot to shock me, but it didn't occur to me that it could be a woman. It just fucking did it. And it was like a fucking sledgehammer, like, oh my fucking God. It did not occur to me for 5 seconds because it's something that you would think only a guy, and I know in real life women do these things too, but oh my God. Guys, if you have not seen Boy Behind the Door, there's such a reveal in this movie that's just, it just makes you, what?
If you have not seen The Boy Behind the Door, please watch that movie. Fantastic.
It's so good.
Fantastic.
It is, and I feel like I've just spoiled it for everyone, but it's just such a, my jaw was literally hanging. I was like, wait, what? And the movie's so good. Yeah,
because I did not see that coming. When
I didn't either.
I didn't either. It's actually doing the bad stuff right there. Because you would normally think that's it would be a male doing that, but when you find out who it really is, it's like, wow.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not. I mean, not just the movie's still great. Mainly because of the performances of the young boys that play the best friends. That's what really carries the film. But when that twist happens, that's really sets everything off because you never expect it, and you got to give the writers credit for coming up with that.
Exactly. And also the actress playing our other character in it, she's having so much fun. She is such a horrible human being, but she is having so much fun with her role. She is going over the top, but it works for the movie. It really does. It's an amazing movie. And I feel like you and me seem to be the only two people that saw this movie, and it was a travesty.
You never saw that movie, Marty?
No, I haven't. Jen's been telling me to check it out. I must.
I see. You haven't seen it, Little Miss Freak Show?
No, I'm going to now.
I feel like I feel so bad, but I feel like not enough people see it. I feel like I've just spoiled it for everyone, but God damn, it's such a good movie.
Yeah, because I was petitioning the hell out of that film, everybody to let know, because it was definitely one of the surprises of 2 years ago when it came out 2 years ago, The Boy Behind the Door. I would tell everyone, you got to see that film. It's so good.
It is. It's an amazing film.
All right, what about you, Little Miss Freak Show?
I'm going to spoil a new one too, and I only watched this because of Jen. But The Price We Pay. Murder Mommy. I love it. I really would like to see a series with this character.
He just texted me. He said he's got to restart his computer.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Another one too. I like a sympathetic villain. I do. Has everybody seen May?
Oh, I love May. I love May.
love
Lucky
May.
McKee.
I love it. I love Angela Bettis anyway, but
Mhm.
I love May. She's so sympathetic, and you feel so bad for her. But you know, she's kind of nuts, and she's kind of killing people. But she just wants a friend. She just wants someone to love. They just have to be perfect.
I can understand that.
Right?
Yeah, I can.
It's Build-A-Bitch.
Yeah. And the movie would be so horrifying, but I think the reason why it's so horrifying is because there's this heart to it. You know, there's this real heart to it. Like, you just feel like, oh, it's not. I love it when it's not so simple, when it's not black and white. Like, it can be fun when they're totally evil, but sometimes when you have this really complex in duality, that's when it really wants to sink your teeth into. So, good choice.
Ginger Snaps is good. I see Sheldon just mentioned Ginger Snaps.
Yeah,
I love
no.
Ginger Snaps.
Ginger
Ginger
Snaps.
is such a cool character. I actually prefer the second one because I prefer Bridget's transformation because it's more gnarly. It's way more gnarly. I like that.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
It's a good one.
It's
It's a good one.
What about you, Marty?
I think there's a couple. I think they're pretty cool. I'm going to go with an oldie. I'm going to go with Martine Beswick in Dr. Jekyll's Sister Hyde. If you haven't seen it, it's a Hammer horror movie that's kind of a bit out there. Instead of separating good from evil, he separates genders. So the good stays in the male part, and the evil goes into the female part. And she goes out, and it kind of hints that she's like Jack the Ripper, because no one suspects that Jack the Ripper would be a woman, and it's just her going around fucking murdering prostitutes to get the adrenal gland so she can stay a beautiful woman. It's fucking weird, but if you haven't seen it, it's one of the kind of more crazier Hammer horror movies, and Martine Beswick is just a stunner in that movie.
Good choice. Very good choice.
Okay, as far as I'm going to go to when it comes to female killers, I'm going to go with Michelle Williams in Get Out.
Good one.
Yeah, it's a good one because you really didn't know whether or not she was in on it or not, and I thought how they eventually find out that she was in it, and all of a sudden her character changes once we find out that she's actually with the family, and that actually goes to credit to Michelle Williams' character, how she plays the character. Yeah, but definitely that character, she's definitely one of my top killers. And another one is going to be no, I'm not going to choose her because that's funny. That's funny. Why the hell not? Just to make Jen happy. Tiffany from Chucky.
Yay!
Fuck Martha Stewart.
I think Tiffany added some new blood in the Chucky series and the Child's Play series. I thought she did a pretty good job. Jennifer has done a pretty good job. Obviously, doing well with the Chucky TV series. Looks like we got Sean back. You okay, Sean?
Hey.
Sorry.
It happens.
It happens.
I'm the one with all the troubles tonight, I guess.
Yeah. So I figured that I'll make you happy. So because you know how much I love Megan.
Tiffany could wipe that fucking little bitch and asses on the floor, and she has no personality. She's bland. I will die on this hill. She's fucking bland. Like she dishes at
It's
Chucky.
a movie, Jen. It's a movie. Calm down.
No, I fucking hate Megan. I'm gonna die on this hill. I know it. It's gonna piss off everyone. I fucking hated Megan. It's bland. It's boring. It's generic. I fucking know.
As you can see, she does not like Megan. Did you see Megan yet, Miss Freak Show?
Yeah, we enjoyed it. Unfortunately, sorry.
It's totally no hate. I'm never. It's totally cool. I know. I'm very much in the minority on this one. I know. I'm not a real horror fan. Obviously,
It's more for the comedy for me because I just found it hilarious.
Mhm.
A lot of people in the theater were
Snarky kind
laughing.
It sounded like the two, apparently.
So I'm sorry to disappoint you, Jen, but there's going to be a sequel.
I know
Oh,
there is.
definitely.
I know there is, but that's okay because, like, I'm not like Chucky. Brad Dourif is the Mancini and Dourif and Tilly are the only ones that can make this sort of thing work for me.
Yeah, Child's Play does have a lot of cool female characters in it.
It really does.
Mhm.
Kyle is an
Kyle,
awesome character.
definitely. Badass.
Very much so.
You know,
On a
Kyle.
hat.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Even Fiona Dorff, she's pretty good in the
Oh, she's
series.
so cool.
Amazing. The apple did not fall far from the tree with that one. Did not. And even the mother from the first one, she was kind of standard for the time, but I thought she gave a really good performance. Tell me what you know or I'll throw you into the fire. That scene. I mean, everyone loves that scene.
Yeah,
That was, I think it was Catherine Hicks.
Yeah,
Captain
from
Hicks.
Seventh Heaven. I was like, that's the fucking mom from Seventh Heaven. I remember watching Child's Play for the first time. It's like, what the hell?
Okay, Megan is not better than Pearl.
I don't think Megan is better than Pearl, but it was
I haven't even seen Pearl yet, but I know it's not better than Pearl.
You haven't seen Pearl yet?
Pearl's great.
We don't have a theater anywhere near me, so like I get delayed on movies unless they're
I
coming out on
understand.
streaming.
I feel you.
Then I collect them up and never get through them.
Hey, what's up, Ben?
Hey, Ben.
Let's see. Did I miss anything? Did I miss
Nice
anything,
trash
Sean?
test, Anna from Hands of the Ripper. I like that.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good. All right. One of the things also we're also discovering that we have great females behind the camera. I think even though she doesn't like it, but I think Leah Cooper, who actually wrote Megan and also wrote Malignant, is a really pulling her own in the horror community, pulling her in the horror film. Do we know of any other women directors that have made decent horror films?
Jennifer Kent. Oh, sorry, Marty.
No, sorry, Jen. Come on, after you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jennifer Kent did the Babadook and also the rape movie. The period piece. Marty, what was the name of it? I can't remember.
Is it like Nightingale or something?
Nightingale. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
That one was
Yes.
brutal.
Yes. Yes. And shows that women can be just as, even more so than men. You want to go dark, go to a woman sometimes. They can show you a dark tale.
Yep.
One horror movie that's always overlooked, Near Dark. Catherine Bigelow directed Near Dark.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always forget that's directed by a woman.
I do too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She actually
Such
felt
a
bad.
good
She
movie.
had this. She wrote a letter to James Cameron asking permission. Could she steal half his cast from Aliens to make the movie? And he's like, yeah, okay, but you have to let me take you out to dinner. And that's how they ended up getting married for like I think 8 years.
That's adorable.
Cameron's a bastard to be married to because he's gone through women faster than a teenager goes through Kleenex. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's ridiculous.
But it's a sweet story.
Yeah.
That's a good choice. I do it. That's also a very commendable to, because like you think it's like we can tell just like a guy. We can tell women's stories, but we can also tell them like guys would. Because I always think that that's a male director, and I'm like, oh no, it's not. So good on that too.
That's I always thought it was funny. A woman directed Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah. Well, they were feminist movies. They were
it's
supposed to
such
be
the
feminist
typical,
movies.
like 80s sleazy slasher. I'm like, how woman directed that?
Well, but actually, if you look at it, particularly the first one, Sean, notice all the like jobs, like the telephone operator and all that. They are all women in those jobs, which was pretty progressive for the time. It was all so there is little touches even there. Marty loves those movies, don't you, darling?
The first one's okay. The rest are a dose of shit.
Oh, fuck you, Marty! Fuck you! Two's amazing. I will not have you slander two. It has a fucking amazing soundtrack.
I will say this. I really had no problem with 2, but the others after 2, yes, I agree with Marty. There, especially if I think the 3rd one or the 4th.
Oh God! Don't mention the 3rd one.
Jay, that fucking movie. Jay, I'd rather get fucking a prostate exam from Captain Hook than watch that fucking movie again.
How many times can I say I'm sorry, darling? I'm sorry.
Oh,
It was a good video, though.
Venus.
I feel sorry you had to sit through that because I only see that movie once. I mean, it's enough is enough when you keep doing the same thing all over again. You don't even add anything different. I mean, nothing against Pamela Springfield. I mean, she did a pretty good job in the second one, but the next 2, she just does the same thing. There's nothing.
Oh, you mean Sleepaway Camp?
It's like, there was no need to make the 3rd one, and then the 4th one there's no. Yeah, you got Nita DaCosta. She actually did a great job with the Candyman remake. I thought she did a pretty good job.
Yes.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful movie. Another movie that was slept on.
Sleepaway Camp too. It's a lot of fun. You bad campers.
Oh, I love Sleepaway Camp too. The 3rd one, we get into some problems, and we don't even talk about Return to Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah.
That movie hurt me.
Yeah. It did.
Oh, fucking frogs. I have never wanted a character to die so bad in a movie. Like everyone, there was no sympathy. We all just wanted that little shit to die. They're my friends.
We don't want to talk about Black Christmas 2019.
Oh.
The 2003 remake is actually really good. No one gives a.
I love that remake.
I do too. Fucking flesh cookies. Fucking flesh cookies.
You can't go wrong with that.
No, you got,
tastes like chicken because it's chicken.
You got the wrong one. Yeah, I think that's the 2009 Black Christmas. He's talking about the 2019 one.
Oh, the 2019 one.
Oh yeah, no. I know that. I was just saying that the older remake, I think, is way better than the new one.
Oh yeah, the older remake is way better than the 2019 version. Yeah, the 2019 version. I don't know what they were trying to do.
Yeah, Monty, what was that fucking black goo?
Black goo!
Is that the black goo from the X-Files, man? What the fuck?
I know. I said, what are they doing trying to rip off the X-Files with some black ass goo?
What the fuck?
Carrie always looked so miserable. Like he's getting paid, but God, he does not want to be there.
He wishes he was back in that bathroom sawing off his leg.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's like, I mean, I have no problem if you want to put a message in your film. That's fine, but you don't have to shove it down people's throats.
For once, I agree. Usually, I'm all about having things shoved down my throat, but for this time, I'm not.
You see what you had to go through, and you feel sorry for Marty. Oh. But we still love
Did
it.
I say something wrong?
You're probably gonna get my channel killed again.
Another good choice from Trash Dash. Mary Harron made American Psycho.
Oh yeah,
Great movie.
yeah. A lot of people didn't know that actually came from a woman. Yeah, she did a pretty good job.
Very good job.
It's like one of the most quotable movies of all time. Like,
Not so much the sequel.
No.
yeah.
Well, wasn't Mila Kunis and fucking
Shatner?
Yeah.
And what made it so bad is that because she even said it herself, that was not supposed to be a sequel at all. That was just a standalone movie, and unfortunately, the producers decided to say, you know what? Let's add some extra stuff in here and make it a sequel to American Psycho. Because that's what made it so bad.
Was it even supposed to be American Psycho? Was it just some random movie that they
It was just
made
supposed to be
into it?
it was just supposed to be a standalone slasher film, and then the filmmakers got the brilliant idea of making it
Name recognition.
because name recognition, because American Psycho did pretty well, and no one didn't know it was going to do that very well, and that's when the filmmaker said, let's rewrite the script and make it be that was that her character was a survivor at the end of American Psycho.
It kind of screws up the end of American Psycho because you're supposed to be ambiguous to if he did this or not, but obviously in the second one,
that one does it.
I mean that's the problem.
The 8mm did that too. They did. Some people don't know, but there's an 8mm sequel. Don't watch it, but there is one, and a Henry Portrait of a serial killer. The sequel as well, serial killer. The sequel as well. Don't watch that, guys. That. Don't watch it. Back.
Never heard of it.
There's a reason. I don't generally shit on most movies, but my goddamn bad movies.
Did it have Michael Rooker?
No.
No, it didn't. No, I didn't see it, but I know he's not in it.
No. Funny thing, no one came back. No.
Yeah. I'm surprised you did not mention Dash Cam and that actress that played in that movie.
No.
God, don't get me started. See, you're doing this on purpose. Don't. That's like a trigger with me. You know how and she's supposed to be just a more exaggerated. That's who she's really is. Just an exaggerated. Oh my God, if that's true.
Oh man. I take you saw Dash Cam of the Little Miss Freak Show.
What's that?
Dash Cam.
I haven't seen it. I've heard enough about it not to see it.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that actually was able to put up with that character and still enjoyed the horror aspect of that film?
Probably.
No, the story's a mess. It's not just because she's an insufferable. I won't use the word on your channel, but you know which word I'm thinking of. It's not just that. It's because there's no story. There's just no story. It's confusing. It's just there's nothing, and there's not much gore. It's a mess of a movie. I'm sorry, Monty. I'm sorry. It's cool that you liked it. I'm glad you got something out of it, but oh my God, Christian and I hated that movie so much.
Did you see Dash Cam, Marty?
I spent a good month listening to why it's so fucking shit. I don't think I'd be watching it. I don't think I need to watch it.
You're forbidden to watch it.
I'm not forbidden. Hey, I can watch a movie if I want. I'm
not one of those girlfriends. I might be a lot of things, but I'm not one of those girlfriends.
A solid month of her dissecting it, and I'm pretty sure it is just a rampant piece of shit from everything.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why, because a lot of people didn't like the film at all, and I think Rick Savage, I don't know if he actually gave her the green light to be that terrible to the point where everyone wanted her to die.
Mm-hmm.
In the film, and unfortunately, and she doesn't. But you just because her character is so terrible, But I was able to get by it because I said, "Wow, man, she is horrible. She is terrible. It's terrible." But I was just focusing on the horror. That's why I like the film.
Sometimes I know when to avoid a movie when everyone says it's a steaming pile of crap. All right, I believe you. I'll skip it.
Then I come to the gym.
I think I have a reputation with this movie. I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah. No, well, you're not the only one. You're the only one because Cody Leach he went on a rant about Dash Cam.
Mm-hmm. Although I did see it on a few people's best list. I did see it on a couple people's best list. It's interesting.
Yeah, because I don't know if I ever watched a film where everyone hates a character that much that it ruins the entire film.
I think it's a dangerous prospect when you make your kind of protagonist so detestable that it's like, yeah, kill the bitch, kill. What do you mean she didn't die by the end of it? You know, that's like, I don't know. Are you trolling the audience? Are you doing it just to piss them off? Like, you know.
Another reason to hate. You just gave me one more reason to hate this film.
Because at the end of the film, she actually wraps all the credits.
Yeah, I heard.
Which I guess you can give them kind of a credit because it's never been done before. But the way she raps, because I even said in my review, she would make Dr. J and anybody else who did gangster rap blush with some of the stuff.
Wait. There's a white middle-aged woman that rap. Jen, you didn't tell me.
I did tell you about this. I did go in a diatribe about
maybe. What?
Yeah, she raps at the beginning because that's her skill. She actually does this in real life. She gets into a car and live streams on the dash cam and raps about the people who she's seeing. And in the movie, she says a whole bunch of stuff that'll make gangster. We saw the worst gangster raps you ever heard. She would make you blush. She make all those guys blush at some of the stuff that she says. Because I'm like, what?
Marty, if you're thinking about this for a trash fire, you would owe me so big time.
You mean like Cardi B level nasty?
Worse.
Wow.
Worse. And I'm not just talking about not about the cursing or the sex stuff. This boy. I mean, because I could take Cardi B and the sex stuff and all the other stuff that she sings, but no, this person right here, ooh, oh boy. It's like, she said that? Ooh, man.
Like, Jen, I remember you said she raps, but I didn't know the entire credits, Monty.
Yeah.
He raps the entire credits.
Don't even think it, darling. We're not doing it for trash fire. No, you'd have to marry me to get me to do that episode with you. You'd have to fucking marry me.
Okay.
Don't even think it, darling.
This makes me almost want to watch it now.
and because it's kind of weird.
Kind of intrigued.
It's kind of weird because Rick Savage, he did a great job with Host, and this was his follow-up film, and it's like, wow, that's kind of
Never again. I beg, Christian. This was like the only movie we've ever done for the channel where there were multiple times where I was like, please, Kristen, we won't do a video on this. I can't take it anymore. Please stop it.
Oh, come on.
I was like Season of the Witch. Just stop it.
Come on, we love your rants.
It wasn't the rants. I just couldn't take the movie, and we never review a movie unless we watch it all the way through. And I was begging Christian, please turn it off. Please, I'll give up a video. Just turn it off.
Oh yeah, she did a pretty good job with Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, even though a lot of people hate on it.
I love it. I actually think that's a fun one.
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it. Yes. Did you like Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, Little Miss Freak Show?
Yeah, I don't think there's one I don't like.
That's cool.
That one's goofy as hell, and it's fun, and I love it.
Yeah.
All right, almost forgot to touch on the subject because I don't think we touched on the subject. Did we talk about Final Girls?
Not really. We kind of danced around them, but never a deep discussion.
All right, let's get on with Final Girls. Little Miss Freak Show, who is your final girl, best final girl, and why?
Well, I already said that I love Megan, so why not piss off Christian too? Sydney Prescott, because my favorite horror movie is Scream.
Good thing he's not here.
Good thing
he's not here.
Yeah.
He really liked you too. It's a shame. He really liked you.
I broke his heart.
Not this lady, Christian.
Yeah.
I've always loved Scream. It was pretty much the first horror movie I really saw like on my own. Cause like, geez, I don't even know how old I was in '96. Wow. I think I was like 7 or 8. I was born in '85. So, so it was the first thing I really watched on my own, and that's what kind of got me into horror. So it's kind of a nostalgia thing, but I love Sidney Prescott. She's so badass.
Yeah, not surprising. Most people who I know who are born in the '80s and eventually got into horror, like yourself, Vicky from Nightmare Maven, Gory Girl from Felicia from Gory Girl, Lizzie from Carnage Candy, all love Scream, and that's one of the first horror films that they saw, and were born around that same time period too. So I'm not surprised about that.
Yeah, no. That's really when it started coming back in mainstream, so I guess that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't mind, what was the actual first horror film that you saw?
Oh, wow. Well, besides Rocky Horror Picture Show, maybe Child's Play. I think it was Child's Play, and I was not very old. I was not very old. I was kind of like watching from like behind the couch type thing while my parents were watching it. Yeah, Chucky used to scare the shit out of me.
All right, Marty, what about you? Who is your favorite horror final girl and why? Hey, Brad.
A couple, but hey,
Brad.
What's up?
I'm probably going to go with. I was going to go with Samara Weaving, but actually, Tessa Farmiga, the sister of Vera. If she's pretty cool, she's one of the better parts of the Nun. And have you seen? It's kind of a meta kind of horror movie called Final Girl. She's good in that as well.
She's literally the final girl.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I thought she kicked ass. So Tessa Farmiga. I thought she was.
I love that movie.
I thought she's a great actress and a great final girl and a lot of stuff she's in. Is she in American Horror Story as well, guys?
Oh yes,
she is.
Yeah,
couple seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, she was in the first one, and I can't remember. She was in the first.
She's in Coven.
Yeah, she's in Coven. Yeah, she's in the first and the third.
She shows up a little bit in Roanoke, and she shows up in Apocalypse. We're big Horror Story fans.
Yeah, you can tell where
season, the Coven one.
All right, Sean, what about you? Who's your favorite final girl and why?
There's probably no secret to anybody. Jamie
Lee
Curtis says Laurie Strode is my ultimate final girl. Yeah, I just love the fact that, she felt like a real person to me, like the girl next door, the regular girl,
Oh, he froze again.
And,
he's so enamored, he froze.
There we go. I think we're back.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
No, you're good.
I'm the one with all the problems tonight.
All right, Jane, who's your favorite final girl?
Well,
wait.
I just
Go ahead,
feel
Sean.
like she was the most realistic, and and we see her character progress on the series, like going up to the new trilogy there, Now she's kind of a hardened, more of a badass, almost like a Sarah Connor type of thing going on.
All right, Jen, who's your favorite final girl and why?
See, I'm probably very weird. I don't have a favorite final girl because you asked me on today, I'll give you one answer. Tomorrow, I'll give you a completely different answer. I love horror. I love women in horror. And I can tell you a couple that have left an impression on me. One's going to sound stupid and dumb, but this is little Jen. I fucking love Tina from Part 7, Friday the 13th, Part 7, our bargain Ben Carey, basically. And when I was a little girl, because, we all have those episodes with Mean Girls. And whenever I would have one of those encounters with some, because like I was a witchy bitch and stuff, and I got made fun of for that. And then The Craft came out, and all these preppy bitches thought they were witches after that. And so, like, the scene that would always come into my mind from part 7 is where she takes the pearls and just busts them with her mind. I fucking love that. So I love Tina from part 7. I also love, like Sean said, Jamie Lee Curtis, not so much from the original Halloween, but from 2018, because someone who suffers from some mental things, that dinner scene, it's not even a horror scene, but that dinner scene when she's trying to connect and make a connection with people, that broke my heart. I literally was crying when I saw that scene, and that is how powerful horror is. People forget about that. People forget that also horror, and that can touch you and the emotions. So it's just amazing. There are so
trauma.
Yes, the trauma of it, and how we can be strong through our, what is that? Hemingway says, "Strong at the broken places." He puts it way more eloquently, but basically, find strength in the broken places. So there's something about that that's just amazing. And I love, and Helen from Candyman. I mean, Helen, she literally has to be the villain to save the child. I mean, that is a role that sometimes women have to do too. I mean, the duality of horror, and just the wonderfulness, the badness of Jennifer from I Spit on Your Grave, not letting a man save her, but taking care of business herself. I mean, there's so many avenues. I don't really have a favorite final girl. I love all final girls. I love horror. So again, have to be fucking long-winded. I'm sorry, guys.
Actually, for me, for me, I have kind of two favorite final girls, and one is Samara Weaving from Ready or Not. I thought she did a fantastic job in the situation she was put into, and another final girl is Sharni Vistins from You Are Next. I thought she did a fantastic job. Not playing the typical meek girl, but one that knows how to survive. So, because I think that's one of the things that we see changing in Final Girls, when Final Girls became the trope, where we don't see the meek, scared, and that now they can actually kick ass and kill people just as brutal as the killers do. Christy is my favorite.
The good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Another good choice.
She had some skills too, man. Like, damn, how's this girl doing all this stuff? Like,
yeah, he said Blaze from New Year's Evil, and Stretch. He always will be my second favorite one for me. All right. Did I forget anything else, Sean?
Yeah, I think one of the first final girls that I ever remember seeing, Marilyn Burns in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Sally Hardesty.
Mm-hmm.
Can't forget her.
Oh yeah.
Hell.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Amy Steele, Friday 13th Part 2 is awesome. Definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, I thought they did that character terrible in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Netflix.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They literally throw her on the trash. They literally throw her in a pile of trash.
Terrible.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Texas Chainsaw one, but that could have been left out. That didn't need to be in there.
No, this continuity. I mean, not just that, but the continuity errors. That's supposed to be a direct sequel from the original '75 film, and it's like, wait a minute, how did he get from there to the orphanage?
Yeah.
I think everybody's asking that, and then until the Uber scene, then we're all like, "What the hell?"
So even Brad said there was no reason for her to be in the film. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't blame her. She said no reason to be in the film.
No, they were just piggybacking off Halloween.
Yeah, they were.
That was all it was.
I think the only thing about that movie that works for me is the slasher aspect. I think it kind of works as a straight up slasher with Leatherface killing machine,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just mowing down kids in a bus. That was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're canceled, bro.
Yeah, you're canceled, bro.
Margot Kidder's a good one too. Margot Kidder's a great one.
Yeah, I liked her character in the
I
original.
got her on my shirt. Yeah,
Mhm.
Nice.
Black Christmas.
All right. All right. One of the last things we'll talk about is what would you like to see women? Oh, yeah. One thing I did almost forget when it comes to women in horror film gratuitous nudity. It seems like back during the slasher days, we always had to see a naked woman running around with her top off. I don't know why they had to think that that's what we want to see. What are your thoughts on gratuitous nudity and do you think they finally make changes in that? Go ahead, Jen.
I love that you come to me. Well, you guys know I'm a very Christian, puritanical woman, and I am disgusted when we see even a little slip of flesh. Oh my God, that is just disgusting. That is just sick and depraved and disgusting, and it's corrupting our moral views. You know what, guys? It's a boob. Don't lose your mind, guys. Like, I don't have a problem with nudity. I don't. There's a time and a place. Now, do I think we should be naked around little children? No, I do not. But, you know, we're adults. We're watching movies. And sure, teenage boys are going to look at it. Teenage boys have been doing that since the beginning of time. But I think most of them are okay for it. Some of them might even be better for seeing a boob in their life. I don't have a problem with, the human body. It doesn't bother me. I kind of wish we'd get more of it. I wish we would go back to that golden age. You know, I always love, like, if I ever won the lottery, I have like a tape of just tits because I want to take to the thing and go, could you make it look like these?
Yeah, it's funny because I had that same conversation with Triv from Trivia Theater when I was doing my interview with her. She had the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it'll be so nice because you can just point out and go, well, I like her boobs here, but you see how perky hers are? You know, it's just amazing. Like, you know, as a woman, you always want to go, oh, I want those. I want those. Buy me those, Daddy. Buy me those.
You see why I made her go first?
What was the rest of your question? I feel there was more of your question. Boobs got me distracted. Thank God you didn't say penises.
Well, because there has been some changes now because we don't see the gratuitous nudity as we did back in the day, but now
The good old days.
But now we're actually seeing more naked butts. And,
Yeah.
male naked butts. Because if you saw Interview with a Vampire and they
Yes.
them,
Oh
we
my
actually
God.
saw-
Yes.
I mean,
That was a gorgeous. Oh my God. That was a beautiful male ass. I was like, oh my God.
I feel your pain.
It's okay. The characters are gay. It's fun. It's fun. It's fine, darling. But no, I don't have a problem. And I think men should get, like, we've always had to get naked. Why can't we have a little eye candy as well? You know, I don't have a problem with it. I guess I'm the wrong person to ask. I'm for more nudity in movies. Let's put nudity in Disney movies while we're at it. I'll go a step further.
Equal opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't know if you can top that, Little Miss Fiction.
I don't know if I can top it, but I can agree with it. I'm all for the nudity. I love a good titty.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think I might be the token queer in the room, but like, I love a good titty.
I want to find the perfect pair so I can go make it look like these.
I want this fullness with this shape, this nipple.
Yeah, exactly. I would drag Marty into the office. Okay, put your mouth around it, darling, to make sure.
Does this one fit?
Sorry, darling.
What was the perfect pair for you, Jen?
Hey, look, yeah, Donald Duck never wore pants. Oh man. All right, Marty, what do you guys to say about that?
I don't think there's anything I can't fucking say. No. All honesty, Jen makes a good point. Like
Like a nipple, huh?
Jesus Christ. Let me get one word. Okay?
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll be good. I'm sorry.
No, you do make a good point. If there's going to be, if there is going to be a lot of female nudity, it should be balanced out by male nudity. I'm not going to be prude. I'm going to be honest. I think a lot of young fellas, a lot of young boys. My first set of boobs. I'm a horror movies. I remember watching the Vampire Lovers on Bravo. I was house sitting. And I was like, sweet channels, boobs, and like that's my first set of boobs. So like it for a lot of young boys, it's a sexual awakening. It's better than fucking them going on to fucking porn and watching some fucking absolute shit that they can't comprehend. At least drip. I was gonna say drip feeding Jen. Don't fucking dare say it. But yeah, no. At least it's a more kind of structured gateway for teenagers to see kind of nudity, not to be kind of afraid or see sexuality as a bad thing, as something like that. And I think horror is kind of that kind of guilty pleasure that allows that.
Very cool.
What about you, Sean?
I don't mind a little sleaze now and then. I've seen a lot of it. I've seen a lot of like the European horrors, like the Gene Rollins stuff and the Jesse Franco stuff, and the obviously the '80s. A lot of the '80s slashers had a lot. Some of the Italian stuff had a lot. Like, of course, there's a line when it can become too much. I think when it's like just straight up exploitation, If it's like has no basis in the story whatsoever, sometimes it can be a little much. But
yeah, I hate that. I hate that.
I know. Yeah.
Like, why is there naked right now? Why are they naked?
Putting it out there for no reason whatsoever.
You really need to be showering right now.
Yeah, I need to go pray.
Is there a reason this shower scene is 20 minutes long? Like,
Yeah, I agree with you, Brad. Yeah, definitely wrong turn 6.
But I mean, honestly, like you, especially you guys, like I mean, I don't think we mind seeing stuff like you guys don't. I mean, do you guys really go, oh, this is just ruining the movie if a thing of tits just come into the screen that doesn't have any? I mean, does it really annoy you guys? I just don't believe it would annoy guys, especially if they were a nice pair of tits.
not exactly.
I mean, it's like this. I mean, it depends upon does the nudity carry the narrative in the story. I mean, obviously,
Probably not.
if you're just going to have women bounce around naked all the time, and there's really no point in the story other than just see women naked all the time, then no, that shouldn't be the case. It should
And
be
there are
at least
a lot of movies like that.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, because I was actually talking to Triv, and we brought up Porky's. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you guys seen Porky's. Have you guys seen Porky's?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, the nudity there, it drives the narrative. I mean, because that's what the whole
Yeah, of
thing is.
course.
So there, you're going to see naked people there, be it men or women. Unfortunately, sometimes in some of these movies that came out during the '80s, it was just like, hey, look, we got to have naked women, even though it had no point in the story whatsoever. I like what little Brad says. I go watch porn for that.
There's some movies where it's like so bad that it's not even really a horror movie. It's just like an excuse to watch naked girls.
I remember watching there's a terrible movie I love called Burning Bright about this girl who's trapped in a mansion during a hurricane with a tiger and her autistic
Oh yeah,
brother.
I seen that one.
And the first half of the movie, she's just in her knickers, and I'm like, this is great and all. She's got a nice arse, but I think her survival might be helped if she wore a pair of pants. Just me.
Yeah.
Well, look at
That's
Terrifier 2.
movie.
That's another great example. Like you and Christian were talking about that because the dad, and it's kind of creepy because the dad designs her outfit and stuff, and like you and Christian were both saying, no protection whatsoever, but she looked hot.
She did look hot, but the fact her father designed the costume for her.
I know. That's what I was saying to myself. Why he designed the costume and she's, barely got everything covered. It's like
because he was proud of her, like a proud dad. Look at my daughter's tits.
Honest to God, it's like the video game Mass Effect. There's a character called Miranda Lawson who was genetically engineered for her father, and it was like, I want her to be tough, athletic, and have an ass that won't quit. And I'm like, what edifice complex is going on here? It's like, what?
I decided
I'm fine with it. Shocker, I know to everyone in here. I'm fine with it. I say we need more. That's what the world needs now is love and a lot more boobies and ass and man things.
That's why Jen is running for Congress in 2024.
You have my vote.
Marty's going to be my missus.
First lady.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'd be the vice president.
Sure.
Here you go. Here you go. Go fight this evil clan with this bikini on. More naked people.
More naked people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what the world needs now.
Yeah. Like I was saying before, yeah, that's if you're going to have nudity in your film, then it has to at least drive the story. I mean, obviously the what was that movie called? Nymphomaniac. Both parts, you expect to see nudity in that film, but if all you're doing is just let's have some naked people in the film because 18 to 35-year-old men got to see naked girls. I mean that's the whole problem with Jennifer's body. I mean that movie got marketed wrong because of a hot scene between Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried. I'm pretty sure some boys probably might have enjoyed seeing those two women, but that was not the whole focal point of the movie.
I wanted to look like Megan Fox. Like if I could have woken up and look like her, I would have been so happy. Such a pretty woman.
But you're cursed, but it's worth it.
Better.
It's worth the curse.
Oh, totally.
Kill a few guys. Sure.
But to look like her, oh yeah. In a heartbeat.
By next day you get naked.
Then again, if I look like Megan Fox, I'd probably be naked all the time anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Like I wouldn't bother to wear any clothes if I looked like her. I wouldn't. I know what you're thinking, Marty. Not that I do much anyway, but
You know how insecure I'd be. I'd be just walking around the house with a gun. Get off my property. Get off my property. Please, mister, let us see your wife. Get the fuck off my property, Dick.
You're not looking at my wife anymore. We lost Sean again.
I think he couldn't take the nakedness.
Oh boy, interesting how there's a man on the thumbnail for this live stream.
Me too, Brad. Me too. Halfway.
Awesome.
All right. The last question is going to be, what do you look forward to as women become more involved in horror films? What do you want to see women to do more of, whether it's in front of the camera, behind the camera, or any other place? And also, because I asked this question to the women that I did before, would you like to see a female killer that's in the same vein as Freddy, Jason, and Michael? All right, go ahead, Sean.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
hoping to get that with the price we pay.
I definitely want to see more female-centric villains in horror for sure. Need more of that.
Brad's having fun.
Freddie Edmonds.
Hey, Katie.
Hey, Katie.
Hey, Katie.
Hello.
Oh, Katie. Hi. It popped up late for me. Like,
All right. What about you, Marty?
Despite again, as being a big fan of Prey, I would finally like to see a female Yacha in the franchise, a female Predator. I don't know, maybe Monty might know some like big female wrestler to play her. Who would you get a female wrestler to play
Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose. Yes, please. It's Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, get one of them to play a female Yacha.
Play a role like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
I can see that.
finally get a female Predator because we've had him in the comics for ages, and it'd just be nice to see him on the big screen.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Miss Little Freak Show?
There's been so much, like, it's like there's more and more every year. Has anybody seen these movies, Lucky, or what's it, I forget the other one, it's like 13-Hour Shift, I believe?
Yes, Christian
12-Hour
loves
Shift.
13. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one
12-Hour
Christian.
Shift. I forget the name of that director, but she's fantastic. I love that. And I want to see more from the Soska sisters. What happened to them? Where did
They got into some controversy.
They got
Oh, did they now?
Plagiarism.
I did not know this.
yeah, plagiarism.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
They
no.
stole from the female creator, actually. Which
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
sucks.
Oh, no. I was wondering what happened there.
Yeah, because I really didn't like their remake of Rabbit.
I didn't either.
Oh, that was
I really-
shite.
I didn't either.
I didn't like that at all. And I like almost everything they put out, but that was the first time I didn't like it. But they got into some trouble. I forget which one, what they got trouble with, but it was plagiarism. Yeah.
Mhm.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Because they were fantastic. Like, I love American Mary. Like Marty was
Oh,
saying.
Yeah.
I
I
love
thought
American.
American Mary was their best film.
Yeah,
It's
it's absolutely fantastic.
I'm with yourself. Like it sucks even more that it was another female creator that this.
And Canadian.
Yeah, it's like it's the fact the genre is so hard for women to try and come up in. And like even now, as progressive as it is, but to screw over another female creator like that when you know what it's like, I think that was pretty
Oh,
shitty.
Mhm.
That is so bad.
Yeah, I know.
It sucks because they really had something too. It was
Yeah.
like you were proud to be a woman with them doing it. It's like, especially if you're a horror fan, you know, they're like, okay, that you represent me, and then you're like,
Yeah,
no,
they're-
never mind.
The one's bringing the gore and the nastiness. That's what I like.
Yeah.
about it.
I know that's what I really loved about them because they really brought some nice gore. Their stories were pretty good, and now they're in trouble.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Jen?
What I'd like to see going in the future, we have come leaps and bounds. You know, when I started watching horror back in the early '80s, you know, it's just we've come at leaps and bounds. But what I think I would like to see, Christian and I, and I'm not doing a plug, but Christian and I, you guys will be seeing a video dropping about a movie called Baby Ruby, and this was written and directed by a female, and it talks about women's subjects, and like you'll have a lot of people will have parallels to Rosemary's Baby, and Christian brings up in our review that was directed by a man, and you can very much tell where this movie talks about some of the same subject matters, but it really talks how a woman would talk and how a woman would think, and it talks about taboo things that we don't even as ourselves talk about as women. And I think there's a lot, and this happens to deal with children and childbirth and all that can of worms, but there's so many topics that women don't even discuss among themselves, and I think horror would be a great place to talk about some of those subjects and what what better than female directors, female writers, female actresses portraying it and talk about these really sad, it is hard being a woman, guys. Like, I'm not being bitchy. I mean, it's great to be a woman, but and I'm sure it's hard to be guys. Like, I don't hate guys at all. I love all you guys, but I like men in general. But it's hard being a woman, and I think you guys will never quite understand, just like we'll never understand what it's like to be a man. I think there are so many subjects that women could really bring. They bring our voices into the genre, and when you add the horrifying element, you could really have something there. So I really want to see more movies like this. But there's a movie that's just out now that's called Baby Ruby, and just check it out, and it really speaks to a lot of feminine issues, and I would love to see more of those kind of movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I truly am enjoying what women are bringing into the genre of horror. Like I said before, even though Jen hates it, we now have Megan.
I don't hate it. You know what? It's good. It is good for horror fans in the sense anything that does well, it's good. I don't particularly like it personally, but I'll never hate anything, and I'll never judge anyone else for liking something, because that would make me a total elitist douchebag, and I don't want to be that. I might be many bad things in this world, but I don't ever want to be that. It's totally cool if you love what you love, because it could mean something totally different to you than it can to me or anybody else. But it's just great. Horror, anything that brings in horror is great, but women do have a lot to offer. And the thing that I keep going back to is people that don't understand the genre will go, oh, it's misogynistic to women. No, I think it uplifts women. I really do. I think it has always uplifted women and showed women, hey, you know what? We got more to offer than just what you think we do. So, that sounds very self-gratifying, but I mean, it's true. Like, I don't think I hope I'm not like coming off across as this douchebag, but you know what I mean? I don't think women get celebrated enough. And I'd also like to see minority women and different types of women, because we've only seen like this one particular cookie cutter. I'd love to see different races, different sizes, different walks of life, different sexualities. We haven't seen too much of that. We're starting to, but I'd like to see more of that. Representation would be lovely for everybody.
Yeah,
that's those big girls.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Size is everything. There's not just one way to do it.
Yeah, that's why I really enjoyed Piggy.
Mm-hmm.
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 Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I did when I first started doing women horror. I actually covered black final girls, because there's not that many when it comes to horror films, but there are several black final women in horror films, and I thought it was a good idea to cover that. And yeah, we should be able to see some more diverse, and it's becoming more diverse in horror films now. We're seeing more final girls, more final men, or final boys, if you want to see that way. Obviously, I was hoping they/them would be the start of something different, even though that film kind of petered out. But at least that way they're somewhat going in the right direction. We're seeing more gay couples, or whether gay couples or lesbian couples in horror films now. So at least that way we're starting to see a lot more progression in horror films, that all couples are being represented, whether you're straight, gay, binary, interracial. That we're actually seeing a whole lot of stuff, and I hope that continues in the horror films.
I do too, because it's very important. Like when Prey came out, there was this discussion about it just being a woman and stuff, and I'm like, it is so important for people to see like something, a representation, because even though we don't look at, Christian and I have quite a bit of Native in us, and you hardly see any Native. Corey Andrew was talking about this and stuff. You don't see any Native representation at all, and it's important. You don't think it is, but you want to see someone on the screen that looks like you, or that comes from your story, or that you can vibe with. Not even necessarily look, but they can understand the story that you've come from, or a background you've come from, or an experience.
Yeah, she was very, very happy and very proud of Prey, because she definitely. I remember. I think I saw the video when her and Knight and Killian were talking about it. She was actually crying because that's how much she really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, I remember that stream. I was on that stream. I was like, oh my goodness. But yeah, no, she was delighted, because it again, just representation of the Native Americans is being so low, and of women is being so kind of sparse. It was fun to see a character front and center And like the fact that you also got a chance to watch that movie in Comanche, which was fucking huge. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the first movie that you could watch in the Comanche language. That's kick ass. Like,
I believe Slashback, one that came out here in Canada there last year, is directed by a native woman, an Inuit woman. And it's about Inuit girls, enough girls fighting like a kind of like The Thing, but more PG. Like an alien type thing. And it's all in a small town up in Nunavut here in Canada.
Huh. I'm going to
It's
have to
called
check that one
Slashback.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had to check that out.
okay,
I'll add
check it
that
out.
to the list. Thank you.
Okay.
I will add
Yeah.
that to the list. Thank you. I'm always on the lookout for that stuff. Sounds good.
It's like it's a silly movie. Like it's not really gory or anything, but it's real fun to watch. And I do believe it's not like actresses or actors. They just went into this town and casted the movie from this small little Inuit town.
Oh, very cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
Beautiful, very pretty.
We done a review on it.
Yes, we did do a review on it over the Halloween, I think. I'm not sure.
We must have missed that. Well, Halloween was a crazy time.
Oh,
I
yeah.
missed almost everybody's videos. My own
You know-
included.
Going back to what you said, Piggy from this year is another one that was directed by a movie and showing a different type of character than we're normally seeing too. Piggy was one that I thought was very much slept on.
Just to pick up on what Trash Test says, actually, Trash, that's Holt Macaulay. That dude's a white actor that they put in brown face for that movie. It's Holt Macaulay from Mindhunter. They browned him up and gave him a wig. That was terrible.
Oh,
That was terrible, man.
Oh, right. That's the little the statue by the door.
Yeah.
The little.
All right. So that's basically all we have for right now. Want to once again thank Little Miss Freak Show for coming on and enjoying us here.
Awesome
Thanks
guest.
for having me.
Yeah.
Awesome to have you.
And
Thank you.
what I like to do at the end of the stream is I like to give all the people a chance to go on ahead and get a free spill. So, Little Miss Freak Show, what you got coming up on your channel?
I honestly am not sure. We have a review in the works for The Price We Pay because we absolutely love that movie so much.
fun.
And Freak Show's Forgotten Films is going to be every week. Other than that, I'm trying to work out a schedule. Forgotten Films is kind of my thing at the moment.
Gotcha.
All right, what's going on your channel, Jen?
Well, Christian's gone, so like we're gonna have Baby Ruby come out either tonight or maybe tomorrow, and then we've got a Tales from the Crypt episode, and then we're just gonna have to. Christian and I have to do StreamYard. We're up on our hours till the 14th, and then Marty and I are going to be doing a very special Valentine's. But I'll let my darling talk about that.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so we're doing two. We're finally, because I promised to watch Flowers in the Attic with her, so we're watching that for Valentine's. God knows fucking why. And we're also
Because it's Valentine's Day. I guess it should be more of a Mother's Day thing, but you know.
we're going to be doing a stream where we discuss our favorite crazy, messed up sex scenes from movies.
Oh no!
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Oh man!
We're gonna be reenacting them, right? You said we were gonna be reenacting them.
No, I fucking did not. No, I fucking did not. Fine,
I have
fine.
costumes and everything.
Well, I'll get one of my exes to come over and I can do that then. How about that? Yeah, because you know.
You're all dead. All of you are dead. All of you. Everyone is dead.
Hey, you suggested it. Should I put her leg up here or here? Or...
Oh, Marty, you are so dead.
Marty's definitely ending up in a bag.
Oh, be careful, Marty. You're gonna be eaten out of a bowl. So.
We might have to find a new. I think Marty's gonna be missing in a few days. I have this.
Come on, look at the trash picture show, and all you see is a bag with a
We're
bowl.
gonna see
in
on
it.
investigation
Up and move.
from every channel.
All right.
Call you guys are. You and Sean are gonna get a thing. Call the police.
Help.
All right. What you got going on your channel, Sean?
Well, right now is I've been coming up with some new designs for my channel for merchandise, t-shirts and mugs and stuff. So check out thehorrorcona.com, CONA.com.
Very cool.
Thehorrorcona.com. And I am going to be coming up with another Horror Hangout live stream t-shirt. So keep an eye out for that.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, as far as coming up on my channel, obviously I will have my second interview I did with Danae from Rainbow Fright. That'll be coming up this week. I also have my reviews for Winnie the Pooh and Blood. I just did those today.
I want to see it.
Have you Miss Miss Freak Show seen Winnie the Pooh yet?
Nope.
Haven't yet. Well, I want to. I'm waiting for. Well, Sparky and I are going to try to get to it though before he comes back because I'm curious. It could be good. The trailers have lied so many times, but that trailer almost looks good.
Yeah.
It feels like my kind of stupid.
I am not going to say anything about it. So if you want to see my video, it should be up by tomorrow.
Very cool.
Depending if I get a chance to edit it. Depending how long it takes me to edit it. So I should have that up tomorrow. And then like I said before, I'll have my second one-on-one interview with Danae from Rainbow Fright, and of course other things in the works coming up on my channel.
You and Triv's video was awesome.
Oh yeah, she's fun.
Yeah.
I told her, I said we got to have you and her back on the live stream again, but you just have to keep careful because you're going to kill my channel.
We'll do it on someone else's channel. Marty.
Look, it's just as well I don't fucking make any money off my channel.
Let me just answer Mark here. He's wanting to know how I got a chance to see Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. So once again, I want to thank everyone, guys in the chat, for joining us today. I hope y'all guys did a great show. I should have the links for everyone's channel and of course for Little Miss Freak Show's channel in the description box below, so you can check out her channel. Very
Definitely
good.
Go sub. Amazing content.
Yeah, it's got some amazing content. And once again, guys, I want to thank you very much for joining us tonight. And always remember that horror rules.
Disney needs more tits.
I'm going to kill this live stream before she kills my channel. Good night, y'all.
Bye, guys.